Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am good. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good.
I'm waiting for Bill. I haven't heard from him, and usually he lets me know if he's not coming here.
Right.
So I have a feeling he may have gotten stuck at the bridge.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
you,
Is
you
that is
know,
that a constant state of disrepair down that way?
well, here he comes now. Yes, they're doing a major construction job on the bridge.
Oh, okay.
And every once in a while it causes delays.
Yes.
I
Same,
remember
same
back from
thing.
my days out that way. You're talking like Mitchell Road, right? That area?
No, 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 no. I'm talking about down in at by the um, um, Opera House.
Oh, okay. Hi,
Yeah.
Bill. Oh, I didn't know Bill came from that far. I didn't realize that.
Oh, he's on the other side of the bridge there.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That bridge I'm aware of. Yes. That is
Yeah,
a.
they're doing repair and updating and putting a walkway on one side and
Huh.
messing things up royally.
Yes. And then there was the slow driver I was behind
Aha, that
on
too.
Ray Hill
Oh
and all
no.
the way down 82, and he turned onto Clark Hill
Oh, you're kidding.
under the speed limit every inch of the way. 15 miles an hour around the curves on Clark Hill. I mean,
Ah, one
just
of those people.
one of those people. I kept saying, I'm in a hurry.
It's just a lesson.
Yeah.
I've
Even
had
with
many.
all that, you were almost on time. You're almost like you're just a minute or two late.
Yeah, yeah, you were very close actually. So, other than that, how are you?
Okay.
Good. questions? Reports?
No.
Particular problems?
No.
No, not really.
Well, I guess that's good.
Yeah.
I tried doing the just the feet,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and that didn't work as well. I'm gonna have to probably slow down,
Probably.
but I only tried it twice, I think.
Uh-huh. Did you try that, Jeff?
I actually forgot, to be honest. I wanted to and I forgot all about it. So I will try and do that this week.
Yeah, make a note.
Yeah.
um, it's a really good practice.
Mm.
I actually highly recommend it. I guess my other question is about the focus on breathing chi into the organs in the standing work. Do you have any questions about where the organs are? Any of them?
Well, I'm always a little sketchy on where the spleen is.
I missed.
Oh, he said he's a little sketchy on where the spleen is.
Oh, the spleen. Stand behind the knee, right?
Yeah. did
That's
you?
about where I thought it was too.
All right, you guys. That's all right. I had somebody say to me yesterday, it's kind of long, isn't it? No, that's the pancreas. It's pretty round. It's really right about here, Jeff. It's like on the front corner, on the left side, up fairly high.
Huh.
Um, of course, interesting thing about organs is that in different individuals, they can be slightly different. So
Right.
that's one of the reasons that you try to feel it. But one of the things I'll suggest to you is that there's only about 500,000 pictures on the internet of the organs.
Right.
So if you just Google that at some point, it take you about 2 minutes to visually see where the organs are, which
Right.
might be helpful.
Yeah, it will be.
Um, and it's really important in doing that you are able to get your mind to extend into your body, because that's the only way ultimately that you can really connect with each of those individual organs. And using your mind intent, direct the flow of the energy there. Mind intent doesn't move the energy, but it does direct it, which I've probably said before, but I'll say it again. And it's even if initially you start with visualization, you know perfectly well that ultimately visualization isn't the answer, but it might help initially. If you're having trouble being able to connect with a specific organ, then sometimes visualizing it will help you do that. But understanding that that's a tool to work with. And ultimately, in Qigong, the ultimate intention, other than developing and promoting a complete smooth flow of the qi throughout the entire body, the entire system, it is what you do with that to the internal organs that has a major impact on health. Um, if you have healthy organs, you are more likely to be a healthy person.
Mm.
Obviously. It's kind of a stupid statement, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it it makes a real difference. And ultimately, one of the major things that Qigong does is um, both move and uh, bring fresh energy into the organs and release the used energy out of them. So this is just one part of approaching that. So I think my little talk here is just to encourage you to put some focus into that, because it really is actually kind of important to you, not to me. I mean,
Right.
I will be happier if you do it than if you don't, but the benefit is for you, not for me.
But I'm still not feeling any change, David. I don't know if maybe I'm trying to direct and move the energy incorrectly because I'm so used to all my Tai Chi life opening up the channels that I'm aware of. And it seems like if we're directing it towards organs, we're not really going through the channels. We're not going through the,
We're not going through the acupuncture channels. That's
right,
correct.
right. And
But
so I'm
remember,
struggling with that difference in moving the energy and experiencing and controlling the energy.
yeah, and
Uh,
the thing that I didn't know this. I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I didn't know this particular um, apparent fact. Um, Certainly for a long time in my early Tai Chi career. But I understand now that there are something like 4,000 energy channels in the body, which means that you can move energy in just about any way you choose to do it.
right,
So you don't let yourself get locked into the acupuncture channels. They are helpful, and they're on the surface. They're not deep.
right,
You know, if you've had an acupuncture treatment, you know how deep the acupuncturist puts the needles in. It's not very deep.
I have one
right.
at 12 o'clock today.
Oh, good. Well, that may help you. So, um, so really, the trying not being concerned about how the energy is getting there,
Right.
but keeping your focus on developing an awareness of feeling the organ at least have some expansion and contraction. You don't have to move them around like Bruce does, but
Right.
as a matter of fact, I don't know that. I mean, I'm sure that that's useful in some specific cases, but I don't think it's necessary.
Right.
But being able to sense the fact that the liver is actually expanding slightly and contracting a little um, has real value.
Mm. Yeah.
um, so, in a way, I'm glad I've introduced this, because it's one of those things that um, is certainly for our Western mind is pretty counterintuitive. Um, and so we kind of have to let go of what we might um, think of. We're not trying to find where those organs are connected to muscles, and how do we move those muscles to move the organ? We're simply trying to fill them with qi, and which will tend to release any used or noxious qi.
Hmm. Okay.
Do you have any other questions about that?
No, I am. The practice is the important thing for me. I mean, in the Nagong course, which I
Yeah.
took 1.5 times before it stopped, we worked extensively on, uh, and that comes back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good.
So. I hadn't practiced it deliberately for a couple of years until we really started to, with the 8 gates,
Yeah.
fasten onto them.
You know, another way to practice this, it occurs to me that I haven't said to you, is you can, instead of doing the bending and stretching movements of those positions, you can actually touch the energy centers or the organ locations and feel them. Feel that there is movement there, and so that might be helpful. It is easier to feel it in the organs, I will say, than it is, for instance, in the upper dantian. That's a very subtle movement, obviously. In the middle and lower dantian, it's much easier to feel the movement there. So, anything either of you want to throw into my thinking today?
Can we do the 8 gates with you aerating the organs
Well,
and
I'm planning on it.
okay, and helping to get and helping also when you say we have to get our mind into our body and into our organs, maybe helping with a path to do that because that's still a little unclear to me how I can improve on doing that. Whatever way you can say it to be helpful. Maybe you've already done the best you can. I don't know, but I'm just telling you where I'm at, and
Yeah,
maybe.
no, I hear you, and I understand.
Okay.
Um, uh, um, I'm not going to get into heart mind. So I'm just trying to think how to say it that it might make more sense. Um, Initially, of course, to begin with, we're simply thinking of getting our thinking mind,
Mhm.
our conscious mind, to sink through the body.
Right.
And I can't give you a magic bullet about that because I don't think there is one.
Mhm.
Uh, you have to feel the mind sinking into the body and feeling inside the body. When the mind extends through the body, that's how you can feel what's actually happening inside the body. ultimately, um,
Hmm.
when we get to the point where you're working more deeply with this, I will simply mention that you do work with the heart mind or the subconscious or unconscious mind. Um, but initially, you have to work with the conscious mind.
Right. As you're saying this, things are clicking in my head. I actually realize I do this in life to some degree because I'm very much in touch with if something is off in my body, if I'm health wise, if I'm feeling a cold coming on, if I'm feeling like this muscle, I gotta stop straightening it, whatever. I'm very much in tune now, more so than previously in my life, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
from Tai Chi or life experience or all of that combined. I actually, my mind does go into my body and I feel things, and that's one reason I rarely get sick is I can actually kind of usually feel something if it's starting somewhere in my
Good.
body, and I take steps to help prevent it, whether it's taking some herbs, echinacea, whatever. So I actually do that to some degree, and I never made that connection until just now of,
Good.
of of what you're talking about. So that actually is a little bit of a aha moment right here for me.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah. Well, that's good. So, in a way, you're already doing it to some degree,
In some ways, yeah, yep, I am.
and so this is just opening up to a little bit more.
Right, right. Okay. Well, that actually was very helpful.
Oh, good. Sometimes it helps to keep asking questions or talking a little bit further.
Okay,
so,
good.
so let's do it.
Good.
Oh, I need to change the camera. So stepping out and coming into center, into your basic level, and really taking that moment to let yourself settle into that place so that it's comfortable and you release as much tension in your body as you can, allowing yourself to be as open as possible. So letting the feet and the ankles relax, and the back of the knees, the perineum and the qua, midriff, the armpits, the throat notch, the jade pillow and bai hui, opening to the universe. And first, just shifting a little towards your heel and twisting outward and allowing the energy to sink so that whatever energy the body cannot use drops into the earth. And then back to center and extending your mind through your body. So beginning to feel what's happening inside your body. Feel all the internal organs. Be aware of them. Be aware of the 3 primary energy centers. And keep the connections to the earth and the universe open. Feel your breath, as much of the longevity breath as you can do without effort. And then beginning the 8 gates, doing the bending and twisting, and keeping that movement of the whole body continuous as you draw fresh energy into your upper dantian and release any used. Feel that point between your eyes, drawing in and releasing out. Round the corner as you flow down to the lower dantian. And focus your mind to feel that point below your navel and in the middle of your body. Feel the flow of energy in and out. And then taking your attention to your kidneys. And breathing fresh energy into the kidneys. And releasing. Particularly important to strengthen the Jing in the kidneys. And then coming up to the heart. And remembering to breathe into the upper back as you draw fresh energy in and release any used. Feel your heart. And then coming down a little bit to your liver, the largest organ in the body. And perhaps the easiest to feel. Draw fresh energy in. Release the used. Feel that liver open and close. And coming up and feeling the lungs. Focusing on chi, not breath. Bringing energy into the lungs. Fresh energy in, used out. And now focusing on that little organ, the spleen, on the left side. Breathing fresh energy into it. And then focusing on the middle dantian, just up under the base of the sternum, the home of the heart-mind. Breathe fresh energy into that point. Feel the fresh energy flowing into your middle dantian and the used released. And then closing. Questions?
Felt good.
Love it. That's good.
It's slowly becoming one of my favorite things. It's,
Yeah, surprisingly. Yes. Anything particular for you, Jeff?
Um, No, that was actually my best one yet after our discussion and after everything we talked about and you narrating it like you did. That was a step forward for me for sure.
Good.
What I still, I, I think part of it is, I'm also visualizing moving the mind to the organ and moving energy to the organ and somewhat using my fingers and my hands and connecting to do it as well. The only place I wasn't able to do that was to any degree was with the spleen because my hands were not really near the spleen for that one.
Uh-huh.
That was I mean that's just something that came to mind during this flow. But other than that, this was really good for me as a
I think
step forward.
almost everybody finds the spleen the most difficult
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
because it is the smallest.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
it's not smaller than the Dantians probably, but
Right.
depends how you're looking at those. But um, I deliberately did it today, if you look at the video, with my eyes closed,
Mm,
which I think in the beginning can be a really good thing to do because it really helps to allow you to focus inside. Ultimately, it is most effective to do it with the eyes opened but undistracted. Um, but it's a good thing to work initially with them closed. So you might try that too.
okay.
So um, we'll let go of that. um, in the in the form, we've pretty well gone through the whole thing, thinking about twisting um, and bending and stretching. Um, any specific questions about any of those? Any you're not sure of?
I know what to do. It's doing it and doing it consistently, which is a matter of practice, which I don't always do.
Nothing else to say, is there?
No.
I'm in the exact same situation right now in terms of just we've gone over all the fine points. We've answered a lot of the questions I did have, so I just need to reinforce it and reinforce the changes in my flow over what I had been doing. So
Uh-huh.
including empty step, including not pushing back on following focus, that kind of thing. It's
Okay.
just incorporating the subtle changes we've been making.
So I think one of the things I'd like to do is to have each one of you do a flow and let me really look at it in terms of, are there any places where um, I feel I really need to mention something to you?
Okay.
Um, and then we can look on another element.
Okay.
So, who would like to go first?
You want me to go, Bill, or do you want to go?
Go ahead.
That way you can watch. That way you can watch.
Yes.
Good. The camera is at a bit of an angle, David. It's just the way it is. So it may look like I'm leaning a little bit sometimes.
No, that's all right. We addressed that last time. And any thoughts?
Hmm?
You have any thoughts?
No. I mean, I do notice the differences, and
Well,
I reconnect with what I need to work on. So,
yeah,
but,
he is younger.
hmm?
He is younger. um, Basically, that's really quite good, Jeff. You're a little more practice would probably help it, but it seemed to me there was definite improvement there. Um, the the It's interesting. The twisting all seems pretty consistent. I felt like that was all pretty good, but it seemed to be what had gotten lost a bit is the bend and stretch,
Hmm.
and that's there are places where it's extremely subtle. There are places where it's really counterintuitive. Um,
Right.
um, so, particularly at the end there, I noticed that with the kicks that your tendency was to have your arms already way out, and your arms need to be extending as you're kicking.
Right.
Um, and um, when you did the pull down in the beginning, um, the arms pulled down, but there was no extension of scapula, shoulders, elbows, wrists, hands, and fingers in it.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Um,
Yeah,
so,
I do sometimes lose the connection all the way through to the scapula. I'm definitely finding I still do that.
yep.
Regular
So,
problem.
looking at the bend and stretch, I think may be um, a good thing to do when you have a chance to do some practice.
Okay.
Um,
Good.
did any questions come up for you in doing that?
Uh, no, no,
Okay.
no.
All right. Well, we'll we'll watch Bill then. This time I think you should do it so that it
Yeah,
is
yeah,
on the camera
yeah.
for you as much as
Yep.
for Jeff. So let me.
It's good to watch ourselves sometimes. I find as well. I don't do it very much, but
Yeah,
it
exact.
helps. Helps.
Yeah, it's just a second here. Let me get.
I will watch that flow for sure. Mm.
Do that one again.
Okay. Good. You know, I mean, there are a lot of good things in there. Um, Continue working on the not shifting backward. That's still showing up in a lot of places where you do the follow step.
Okay.
Because the purpose of the follow step is to bring the energy forward and up, and not and, and then of course you need to push downward, but not to go backwards, because you go backwards, and if that were in a martial application, obviously going backwards gives your opponent an opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, do all kinds of things, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably comes partly from, I'm conscious of also leaning forward sometimes when I shouldn't be, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I think what's happening there is that when you shift forward onto a foot for a follow step, you lean into it, and then you naturally go back.
yeah,
So if instead you shift into it here,
yeah,
then the follow step.
rather than this way, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think that's probably a big part of that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there were several places which I'm sure you're aware of where I think that's an issue.
Yeah.
Making sure that you shift the weight fully onto the foot before you try to do the rest of the movement, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Be careful when you go into wave hands that you get the feet parallel. um, you were working on doing wave hands with the feet like this,
Okay.
which meant that you get over here, and now you try to do this, and
Yeah. Okay.
um, it's just more difficult because
I was unaware of that, so
Yeah.
something to watch.
Yeah.
Watch out for.
And also aware that when you go to the other side, that you stay 100% on this foot.
Okay.
You don't shift over onto that foot.
Okay.
When you come over here, that you're pivoting on that heel. That's how you get the roundness
Yes.
in there. If you shift onto this, it'll freeze you for a moment.
Okay.
And of course, we're trying to have constant movement, so it's probably enough to think about at the
Okay.
moment. Unless you have some other.
No, I mean, aside from the one big blunder where I missed the
Well,
empty step,
That's all right. No, I understand that.
But I'm conscious of.
Yeah.
I could have done that better. So.
Yeah. Do you have any suggestions, Jeff?
Um, well, being aware for myself as far as what you said, as far as trying to make sure that my bending and stretching extends all the way to my scapula, that was inconsistent a little bit, I would say.
Yeah.
And the only other posture I had a comment about was with single whip, maybe more of a split. It didn't feel like
More
it
of a
was
what?
Split.
more of an actual split,
More of a motion.
Oh,
more of a separation with single whip.
yeah.
I wasn't really feeling that in the times that he was doing it.
Although it's better than it used to be. So we're making headway at least. That's
Yeah,
good.
those are the only comments that I had.
Okay. Um, so I'm. I don't think I should give you more notes than that because you can only hold on to so much.
Yeah.
So, I think we've got
I'm
time.
gonna have to leave pretty soon because I have an appointment.
What's pretty soon?
5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm okay with ending whenever you want, David. This has been a very helpful class for sure. So whatever you want to do.
Well, I can't go into what I wanted to do in 5 minutes. So,
Let's say
If you want to, I mean, it's gonna be on tape, so.
well, I think no, I want to do it in person since you're so good to come here. Because I want to go into lengthening, but I think what I'll say is actually let me just get new eyes. Wouldn't mind new eyes. The one thing I just wanted to say was I want to look at lengthening, and I know that we have not really talked about lengthening in depth. We've talked about the fact that in lengthening the arms, and thinking about the fact that you want to be able to release and open all the joints and just allow that lengthening to naturally occur. What we haven't talked about is that you also want to work with lengthening throughout the rest of the body. And it increases the release in the arms and the legs as you do that. And so you want to lengthen, not only lengthen the arms, but to lengthen the entire body. So we'll look at that next time.
Yeah.
All right.
That would certainly be helpful for me rather than reaching,
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
Um, and the rest of the body, well, we'll see. Because I don't have a sense of that right now that I know of.
I know we haven't, I don't think we've ever worked on that. I don't think I've even worked on that with Jeff, so,
No, not throughout the body. Not that I
yeah,
can recall, anyways.
yep, yep. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good,
Sorry to run, but
Oh, it's all right.
I've got to get myself stuck.
I have a 1 o'clock doctor's appointment in West Hartford, so.
Oh. Okay.
David, are we approaching or at or into a new session?
This is it today.
Today starts a new one?
Yep.
Okay. Got it. All right. I'll send you some money.
Okay, Jeff, have a good week.
You too, Bill. Take care.
Yep, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Drive safe out there. All right, David. Thank you.
You're welcome.
See you next week.
Okay, great.
Good luck getting to West Hartford. I know it's not a,
Well, it'll be what it'll be.
okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.